Grocery store is absolutely messing with us. It is keeping us fat and it is messing with our heads. And I will not stand for it anymore. The grocery store exists to make money for that grocery store. That's not like a tinfoil hat take or something like that. This isn't some kind of weird like conspiracy theory about grocery stores. It's just the truth. It's a business, right? This is how businesses work. Businesses work to make money for the business. They don't really give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about us. They just want to make more money. Same, right? We all do. Like, we're not going to turn down money. But it's really important to understand exactly how the grocery store is fucking with us and keeping us overweight, keeping us inflamed, and keeping us making really bad health choices. This is not a lack of willpower. It's because the store is literally engineered to erode you. The longer you're there, the more likely you are to make poor choices for yourself. The fix is not more discipline. It's not like a harder situation. It's just really simple behavioral things to understand, to recognize, and to make little changes for. So let's talk about each one of those quickly. And then I'm going to take you in the grocery store. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So pay attention to the video and we'll go to a grocery store together and I'll demonstrate. The first issue is they are going to take advantage of our love of novelty, something that's a little bit different, a little bit new. It's a little exciting. Isn't that fun? No, it is not fun. It is hurting us. Novelty is you get excited by something you didn't even know existed 20 seconds ago. You walk into the store and you're like, oh my God, there's this new product I never knew about and I need it more than I've ever needed anything before. No, you don't. We don't need that thing. It's fine to consider that thing and consider how that thing might become a part of your life or a part of your dietary pattern, but you don't need to get it today, do you? They create a sense of false urgency that exists because it's like, oh my God, if I don't get it, what if it's not here next week? It wasn't there last week and you were fine. You lived a full and complete life without it. You'll continue to live a full and complete life without it now. Don't buy it today. Go home and think about it. Do I actually even really want that thing? Or was I just excited for something new and something a little bit different? The next issue is with this imitation game. If you've noticed, like there's more chips, more cookies, more situations like hyper-processed, hyper-palatable foods that are coming out that are meant to taste like something else, like Pringles chips that taste like beer can chicken, or cereals that taste like a cinnamon roll or something like that. But at the end of the day, we don't want the chips. We want the beer can chicken. That's the whole point. They're trying to take advantage of the fact that we like and enjoy these incredibly flavorful, very fulfilling foods that have tons of nutritional value. And they try to distill all that into some chemicals that they spray onto some bullshit and think that it's going to give you the same satisfaction. And we trick ourselves into believing that that's the case. You don't want the beer can chicken chips. You want the beer can chicken. That's why you're buying the chips to begin with. Just go buy the chicken. Focus on the foods. Like, if anything, well, go down the chip aisle and get some dinner ideas, because there are so many interesting chips now that are meant to taste like a real nutritious meal. Go down the chip aisle and that's your shopping list for the week, and then walk out of there and go find the dinner items that you actually want. The next issue is with labels and words. These words are completely meaningless for the most part, and they're getting in the way of your health. Because unfortunately, we all think this is the case, that organic, natural, free-range, grass-fed, fresh, whatever the thing is, like it's just marketing. It doesn't actually matter for the most part. And I'm going to give you like one really, really simple example that everyone is talking about, which is grass-fed beef. Explain to me right now, why is grass-fed beef better? Is it because grass? Because And then the actual is you typically would hear people say, well, it's got a slightly better fatty acid profile, or it's higher in omega-3 fatty acids than non-grass fed beef. If you're getting your omega-3 fatty acids from beef, you've already completely lost the plot. You are stepping over dollar bills to pick up pennies. There is less omega-3 fatty acid in a serving of grass-fed beef than there is in a serving of flax seeds. Certainly far less than there is in a fish oil capsule, or inconceivably less than there is in a piece of fish. It would be the equivalent of like saying, I'm going to get all my protein from peanut butter. And for those of you who know protein, you would know right away that yes, peanut butter has some protein in it for sure, but it's a fat. Peanut butter is a fat source, and it is a healthy fat source, and it is a delicious fat source. Oh my God. Oh, I'm a peanut butter boy. But that being said, it's just fat. with a little bit of protein and a little bit of carbs and a little bit of fiber and a little bit. Okay, great. It's got some other stuff in it. Cool, but it's fat. The same thing with a grass-fed steak. A grass-fed steak is protein and fat, mostly saturated fat. So to say that I'm going to get my daily allotment of omega-3s and healthy fats from that, you may as well say I'm going to get my carbs from it too, because most steaks have about a gram of carbohydrate in them. Does that mean it's a great carb source too? Of course not. Why would you use that same logic? The other issue we run into in the grocery store is like not actually making choices. So what I mean by that is we walk in and we have this idea of I'm going to see different things that excite me and I'm going to go up and down the aisles and I'm going to kind of get the stuff that's on my list or get the things that I need. But like, oh, that's fun. And oh, we can maybe mix this into. Stop. Just stop. Here's what you do instead. Have your 15 items staple list, and it doesn't need to be literally 15 items. It can be 10 items, 15, 20, it doesn't matter. What are your staples? What are the groceries that you get every week that you know you can build all of your meals from? Things like, I'm going to get chicken breast every week. You're going to get eggs every week. You're going to get yogurt every week. That you get oatmeal every week. Whatever the stuff is that fits into your basic dietary pattern, don't worry about trying to meal plan and build a menu and build all these things. Just go get the same 15 to 20 items you get every week, pile them in the cart. And then when you get home, you can plan, how am I going to make these things interesting? What meal templates am I going to use? What recipes am I going to turn these things into? What am I in the mood for tonight? Versus trying to pre-plan those meals in advance. The second thing that you can do as it relates to this list is, we all have treats. We all want things that are really fun. We all want things that are a little bit tastier. Of course we do. That's perfectly okay, but have a slot for that. For example, my nighttime snack might be an ice cream that I really like, especially in the summer. I am a huge proponent of having something nice and cold that's sweet and refreshing at night. So I know, for example, for me, I've got about 300 calories of an ice cream treat that I want to have at night. If I see something else in the store that I'm super interested in that looks delicious to me, maybe it's like a new kind of cookie. Maybe it's a new kind of granola bar or a cereal that suddenly I remembered existed and I'm craving it now. It's not throw that cereal in the cart and go with it and just, I'll figure it out and it'll be there for when I want it. No. It replaces the ice cream treat for the week. I can still have it. This is not like over restriction. It's just understanding ourselves and understanding our own limitations and understanding our willpower is not infinite. It is in fact finite. And so instead of keeping all of these things in my house and just trusting that I'm going to make a good decision, because that's worked out. Instead, what I'm going to do is say, this week, I'm not getting the ice cream because instead I'm making the choice to get this other treat instead. And maybe I get 2 servings of cereal for the same calories as 1 serving of ice cream, right? Great. Okay, that's what I'm going to do this week. And I get to have the cereal that I was craving. I get to scratch that itch, and it's not screwing with my whole diet because I'm still fitting what I want and the treats and the little things that I enjoy into the scope and the framework of my actual eating plan, my diet, my overall nutritional strategy. Some of the obvious things you can do on top of this too, don't go into the grocery store hungry. If you are hungry, have a snack, have a protein drink, eat a bunch of rice cakes, eat like a whole big handful of just iceberg lettuce. It doesn't matter. Just something in your stomach. This way you're a little bit less hungry so you make better decisions when you're walking around. And the last thing that I like to say is I generally like to separate out the meal prep process from the grocery trip process because the grocery process can be its own headache, its own challenges. It can be very time consuming. Some people like to do both. If that's you, if you just like to bang out groceries, meal prep, throw it all together, boom, get it out of the way, awesome, do that. But if you're somebody who struggles with that, don't tie yourself to that schedule. Grocery shopping can be one day, and then a completely distinctive day could be meal prep. Then another day altogether can be actually even cooking the meals or slotting them together into the Tupperwares or whatever you want to do. That's all fine. Break it up and make it fit your life, how your life actually works. The last little tip about grocery shopping that can kind of screw us up is a lot of people will be in a situation where they think they're going to do the grocery shopping, then come home and cook a healthy dinner. But again, the grocery shopping trip itself can be very time consuming, very, very challenging. So what you should do instead is at the grocery store, get something healthy and quick that you can just have after the trip. Maybe that's just a rotisserie chicken and a couple of bags of vegetables. Maybe that's like if you have the calories for it, some sort of like healthier pizza option or something you can just throw into the oven or a pre-made meal of that kind. Doesn't matter, but whatever it is, have a plan that fits your dietary pattern and your goals. Don't rely on, I'll definitely have the energy to then cook a full meal after this grocery trip. You probably won't, and that's fine. We're human. So let's get into the actual grocery trip. Let me show you what I found in the store, and let me give you some examples of exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so here's me walking into a grocery store. Any old grocery store will do. And as you can see, as I'm walking in here, just right away, you're faced with just a wall of chips, just like a literal wall of chips. Now, mind you that these are basically the exact same chips that exist in the chip aisle. There's nothing actually special here. These ones are hamburger flavored, which I'm going to talk a little bit about the flavorings later, but you recall from earlier in the video. But you can see here, like, it just right away is grabbing me. It's pulling me. These are supposedly on sale. Is it really on sale, or is this the price they always are? I have no idea. But it's getting me very excited about these chips. And oh my God, there's queso with these chips. I wonder what I could do with this. And it's got me thinking about queso, which I was not thinking about before I even walked into the store. So what are we doing? And then what's on the other side? Literally pie, little tiny pies that you could kind of talk yourself into, like, wow, I could just have one of these little pies, and oh, there's something for everybody, whether you want something that's savory, something for sweet. They're shoving it all in the very front of the store, the first thing you see. And of course, it's going to be really challenging to walk past these things and not be interested in at least taking a look and starting to imagine yourself enjoying these things, right? And here we go again. We're literally like walking past a wall of chips, right? Just a literal wall of chips. And you see that oh boy, what did I find here? We've got the spicy pickle that's caught my eye. And again, I didn't even know these existed, but because now I see them here, I'm like, oh, this would be delicious. I should really get something like this. And then, oh, yeah, it's just so difficult to, and they're literally funneling you. Like, I was just trying to get to the lean meats. You can't even see them because they're being blocked by chips. And then on the other side of me, a wall of actual cereal, delicious, sugary, chips, cereal. How are you supposed to get through this? So I'm going to go over here and instead, I'm just going to check on these little cereals, just see what we have. Well, because why not? Let's just see what we have, right? And then there's some, slightly better for you, some slightly worse for you cereals. And of course, we're all going to go toward the more sugary options because they're more delicious. But this is my point, is that I'm just trying to get to the lean meats. Here you see me again. I'm just trying to get to the peanut butter aisle, and I got to cross through a bunch of cupcakes. So now let's take a look at the chip aisle, right? So we're going to walk down the chip aisle and see if we can find a few. Oh, what do we see here? Oh, the crispy diet sodas are calling my name flirtatious. Look at you, little flirt. I love you. It's okay. I'll be back. Don't you worry. Back to the chips. Sorry, I digress. So we're looking for a few chip ideas here, a few fun flavors, just to give us some thoughts here. So you see right away, I find these Doritos taco flavored chips, like midnight taco or something like that, whatever that means. Do I actually want those sprayed flavor nonsense, or do I want tacos? I want tacos. That's the whole thing, right? And I don't want these protein Doritos. You can screw off. Ridiculous. So let's take a look down the rest of this chip aisle here, see if we can find a few more options of interesting flavor choices. And you see as we go, right over here, right across from the chips, we see this wall of Oreos. And again, there's several peanut butter flavors, which catch my eye because I'm a peanut butter boy. And it's like, okay, well, do I really want peanut butter Oreos, or do I just want peanut butter? Like, maybe I should just get some peanut butter, which I was doing previously. But you see, I found these dill pickle Pringles, and right away, it's like, okay, 150 calories for a serving, which is nothing. And do I really want those, or do I just want some pickles? Like, I want pickles, right? You can't even put these back. Like, they just want you to go like, oh, I guess I'll just throw them in my cart. I can't even put them back. Making it difficult across the way. As we make our way down to the end of this end cap here, we see that on top of that, we've also got these are beer braised steak Pringles. Beer braised steak Pringles. That sounds great, right? Except, well, no, it's just chemicals sprayed on potato composite. But it does get me thinking about steak. Maybe I should just have the steak. Maybe that's what I'm actually craving and wanting, and they're playing on that in my mind. So here we go. Just pick up a steak. So kind of going back to some of our other thoughts related to some snacks and nighttime treats. Like, maybe your nighttime treat is a couple of servings of these cinnamon roll goldfish, right? So that's about 280 calories for 2 servings. And goldfish are a super reasonable snack. Take a look at the macros on those. They're not bad at all. So instead of that, maybe, because again, I'm not just piling things into my cart, I see this ice cream, and that's a really interesting ice cream. So maybe I could have a serving and a half of this for that same 280 calories. All right, that sounds great. So instead of the goldfish this week, I'm going to get the ice cream because that really caught my eye. I'm really in the mood for it. It's been hot. Awesome. Let's do that instead. Maybe I can find an interesting cereal. Or maybe I can't because the cereal aisle that's got like quote unquote healthy cereals is like one little shelving unit. And all of the rest of the cereal aisle, the whole rest of it is just nonsense kid cereals that are like just terrible. But you could still find some good options in there if you go digging. So that's what we decided to do. And ultimately finding a few options, but really looking ultimately at the granola bar section. So the granola bars, because it's really in the same exact section as the cereal, I found these granola bars that kind of caught my eye, just literally based on the flavor. And I could have a serving of these granola bars instead of the goldfish or instead of the ice cream this week if I was just craving something a little bit more crunchy or a little bit more portable. Maybe I'm traveling this week. So let's talk about the words, right? We said like natural, organic, free range, whatever. Eggs are a great place to kind of show some comparisons here and explain the difference and what's really important. So these are like free range, natural, bougie eggs. They're like $6 a piece. Okay, let's take a look at these macros here. We got 70 calories per egg, about 5 grams of fat, about 1.5 grams of saturated fat. Okay, awesome. These are probably great macros, probably way better than the cheap white eggs that we're going to take a look at. So now I know what I'm comparing and what I'm paying for. Sweet. So let's take a look right next to these and see if we can find some just cheap, ridiculous, white, just nondescript eggs. Found them. These are like $1 something a piece. These have to be terrible, right? So let's take a look. Just a brown container, unappetizing. Let's take a look and see what we got here on the side. Okay, so these macros, sure. Wait, hang on. Wait a minute. 70 calories, 5 grams of fat, 1.5 grams of saturated fat, the exact same macros. Well, wait, are these cheap eggs? Yep, $1 something per dozen versus, $6 a dozen for the more expensive. So, in summary, what exactly are we paying for in some of these situations? What exactly are we doing with ourselves, with our time? We're being shoved and pushed into walls of treats and things like that. We're paying for the brown instead of the macros. We're in a bad situation, right? So, just a reminder, hopefully, this gave you a lot of interesting things to think about. Make your list, stick to your list, make those swaps. Don't just keep adding more and more stuff to your cart. If you have any questions, need some support, you know where to go. So that's what's up with grocery stores and grocery shopping, and it is an unfortunate story. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube shit. Thanks again for watching.